Okay, so Chris, first of all, thank you so much for being a part of Malaska Golf.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
And we've got the last part of your winnings.
Yes.
Is these Tour 360 shoes. Hopefully,
wonderful.
They're awesome. Can't wait you put them on. I'm sure your score will come down by 2 or 3
strokes.
Oh,
absolutely. It better.
Okay.
You know, that's what the site says. Right? You know,
just wear the shoes. Just wear the shoes. Use the clubs, and you're a better player.
Absolutely.
Okay, so a couple of questions.
Sure.
One, how did you find Malaska Golf? How did you find it in the first place?
You know, quite honestly, I think it was just a YouTube search.
Okay.
Looking for golf content, and it came up, and I started looking into it, and I thought, wow, he's got some great stuff. This could really help my, pitiful game.
Has it helped?
Yes. The L to L and the concept of just being able to release my wrist rather than roll it.
See.
And I mean, I just, in my iron play, I'm noticing I'm picking up 10, 15 yards.
That little concept right there, once people understand that's a different hand action than they taught for a long time. That's what I had when I started, and I got into the roll in the hand thing, and it just made it very difficult for me, and it's not necessary. And everybody who finally figures that out, it's a different hand action, it's not really release. But once they get it, almost everybody, their distance comes up dramatically.
Yeah. Yeah, my contact is much improved because of that. My distance, like I say, I mean, my 7-iron, I hit 175 now instead of 155.
Okay. Well, listen, like I say, this is, for me, it's fun to meet you because there are so many people on the site that win things that I don't get the chance. And we're right here at Nibley, which is where I grew up. And getting a chance to meet you and tell you again, thanks so much for being a part of the site. You've already given us some really good insight as to how we can make it better.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything I can do to help you, please let me know.
My worst shot right now is a pitch shot out of 3 or 4 inch deep rough around the green.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. As soon as this is over with, we're going to go over here and create it, and I'll show you how to hit it.
That'd be great.
All right. Okay, so this lie right here, it's not as hard as it looks, but there's a couple of things that you have to do. There's 2 ways to play it, okay? So what I want to do is I want you to just go ahead and do whatever you would normally do with that lie.
Okay.
So your grip, your setup, and whatever you're going to do. Okay, now that wasn't bad, but here's the problem. Stand over here and watch what I'm going to do here. When the ball gets way down deep in the rough like that, let's see, this is even better right here. Okay, so it's down there deep in the rough. What you just did is you set up and you basically made the same swing you make with your like a pitch shot. The problem is if I do that, if you watch what happens here, if I'm going to hit that, if I make that swing, I start catching grass right here. So now all of this grass gets between the club face and the ball by the time I get there. The chances that you're going to be able to have any control of how far that goes because of how much grass is between the club face and the ball is about 0. So what you got to do is you got to change your setup. You lean a little more left, the ball's a little back, and you pick the club up and you drop the club right straight down into the ground behind the ball. So you pick the club up, drop the club, boom. That's how most of these guys play that shot. So go ahead and do that again. Open the face. There you go. Now, you just stand there, relax your hands, and you just go up like this, and then you just drop the club down into the ground right behind the ball. Just pick it up, drop it, just like that. You did it better than I did. Okay, so what you're trying to do when you get these thick lies, you're trying to eliminate or reduce the amount of grass that's getting between the club face and the ball. The same concept is on the golf course when you get it in the rough. If it's sitting down in the rough, most people, they swing really shallow trying to dig it out, and tour players get steeper. So the ball's sitting here, and their club's coming down on an angle like this to the ball, so they're catching some grass, but not as much. If I come in this angle, there's so much grass that gets between the club face and the ball, I can't hit it. Okay, now that's one way to do it. Here's the other way. Now, you're going to hit a little chip shot. Now, if you watch, I've got the club face closed. If you watch what happens here, if I put the club face open, when it hits, it catches the club.
Yeah.
So the club won't go through the grass.
Okay.
If I turn the toe in like this, you see how it slides through the grass? So now with very little effort, see, the ball will pop out and roll.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have one that's really close to the edge,
yeah,
you can use that. I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay.
Let's see, get it right there, okay. So it's almost like a little chip shot. Close the face even more. Back up, and we're gonna make a practice swing. Because I want you to feel how easy the club, see how easy it goes through the grass?
Yeah.
Okay, just go and just scrape the grass now. Do the same thing. See how easy the ball comes out?
Yeah.
Now, if you've got a shot like this where you're trying to get it to that pin with this lie, you use that.
Okay.
If you're trying to get it up nice and soft, then it has to be, you gotta be a lot steeper.
Okay.
A lot, because what you were doing in that tall grass around the greens, unless you swing really hard, like a bunker shot that was buried,
Right.
there's no chance you're gonna get it out.
Okay.
Let's do the first one again.
And if I swing it really hard and I catch it thin, then
It's gone.
gone.
Okay.
And I think that's what the fear in the back of my mind is what's causing me problems.
So all you're really doing on this one is you set up, you're on your left side, and then basically all you do is you pick the club head up, you just pick the club head up and then you just let it drop down on the ball.
Okay.
Open the face, pick the club head up and just let it drop. That's awesome. That's how you get out of those lies. What you were doing, I mean, you might get it out, but most of the time, because you're so shallow,
I'm catching grass.
too much, and so the ball goes right there.
And I scare it there.
Exactly. This one, if you just drop it and you let the club hit the grass, hit the ball, it's gonna pop it out and you're gonna get it on the green somewhere. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I've loved this thing.
Well, no, this is awesome, and I'll show you why. But I'll also show you what you gotta make sure of. Okay, when you put it on, you gotta make sure that this is right in the center of your forearm.
Okay.
Okay, because what people do is when they put it on, this is twisted this way or twisted this way. So as you hit shots too, if it twists one way or the other, you gotta change it, because the key is this thing gets this right wrist doing what it's supposed to do. So now with all your little chip shots, with putting, the way I use it with putting is I set, whoops. Let me release this again. So with putting, I release all the things and I go back, and then as I start forward, it makes one little click.
Okay.
So it just sets my wrist just a little bit.
Yeah, I have not tried it with putting yet.
With chipping, little pitch shots, you know, I want my wrist to go, I want it to go click, click. And then I just keep that in there to hit little chip shots.
Okay.
And even full swing, it clicks 4 times, and then you're up here, and then you're down here, and you start to feel what you feel to hear.
Okay.
Now, the reality of this on the follow through, it wants you to turn your hands this way. And we want your hands to go that way.
Right.
So it isn't as good on the follow through, but for your backswing to impact and right to there, especially on chip shots and pitch shots, because most people in chipping and pitching, what they do is they take the club, they might hinge it correctly, but then they'll throw it. This makes you feel this, and it just lets your arm just swing and let the weight of the club and your arm go together where this angle doesn't break down. So for your normal pitch shots, this is awesome. And full swing even, to feel what you're supposed to feel at impact. That's why it's called precision impact.
I've noticed that when I end up, a lot of times it looks, you know, my hand is more angled like that.
Yeah.
Is that simply because it's not allowing me to?
Exactly. So if I could do this, if we could, if I could have you hit the ball and use this to hit the ball, and then this was there where you could go and your hand could do that.
Yeah.
So if this would actually go,
right,
then it, relative to what I teach, it would be perfect on both sides.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Absolutely.
So I use it, here's what I do. See, I cheat the thing. So I set it here. I don't put the 2 fingers in.
Okay.
I put my hand against there. I let it do this, and then as soon as I hit it,
Okay.
then my hand comes off this.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, there you
try
go.
that.
So you preset it,
Yeah.
and then there. I mean, so I pull my fingers out so I can hit it the way I want to hit it.
Okay. Sure.
Good job. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's really helped you then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love this thing.
For most people, they're set up, and then to feel how, because you can't twist.
Right.
If you twist, it doesn't click. So to start to feel from a setup click, how your wrists have to work to make that thing click, and then how that stays until you hit back the ball, just to get that feel of what that is.
And I mean, the point of that is what do they call it? Compression. Trying to learn compression.
Exactly.
So
it's line of compression, and if your arm goes like this,
right.
you can't line your arm up to compress the ball. So like when I hit a baseball or I hit anything, hit a tennis ball, your wrist is like this, and there's your line of compression. If I were to go like this with the racket, even if the racket hit the ball square,
right.
I don't have any force behind it.
Sure.
So that's what it's for.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Good job.
Thank you. So
Thanks again, Chris. Appreciate you coming. Enjoy the shoes.
great
Enjoy
to meet
everything
you.
else. Oh, yeah.
It's been fun.
More pleasure for me to meet you. Thank you.
You're welcome.